As the old saying goes, money makes the world go round. And that is also true for Red Dead Online. So I decided, since we did a gold guide video a while back, that we would do a cash guide as well. One thing I've noticed in the comments every now and then, I will come across some of you that still have issue making money in Red Dead Online. It's way easier to make money than it was a year ago during the time of the beta. And what I'm doing is I'm going to break this off into 3 different categories for making money. First off, the lower tier, starting out ways you can make a little bit of money, and then better ways to make money that do not require rolls or purchasing rolls with gold bars, and then earning money with the rolls. And some of these actually earn you gold as well as money. So some of them are going to earn you both. Not all of them, but some. So let's get things started at the beginning. You're going to first and foremost be introduced in the tutorial. For those of you that have already played, most of you probably have, you know about the story missions, the Land of Opportunity missions. That is a good way to make money grinding whenever you're starting out. And it's pretty easy to get into a story mission. All you gotta do is go to the interaction menu, go to quick join, go down to story, and you can just grind with randos if you want, for better or worse, or you can play with friends, 2 to 4 players. There's also stranger missions that you can do in free roam, and there's several different stranger icons scattered throughout the map, honorable as well as dishonorable, and these can be played by yourself or with a full posse. And there's always the free roam events that will pop up on occasion, a variety of those to choose from. And the free roam events also obviously have cash as well as gold payouts. The same goes for the story missions and stranger missions. PvP mode, for all of you into PvP action, whether it's a gun rush or the showdown series, horse racing, elimination, etc. This is a good way for you to earn XP as well as some gold, and yes, cash through doing the PvP modes, depending on how good of a PvP player you happen to be. And there is another store that exists that you can sell items to, lesser known, the doctors. Now, I put that on the starting out list because you're not really going to make much money selling herbs. There are 2 doctor locations, one in Valentine and one in Saint Denis at the recording of this guide. So it's usually best to hold on to your herbs because you can use them for other things down the road as you advance in the game, like making tonics, even recipes for various items like food, and even the moonshine business when you're making moonshine further on if you decide to go down the moonshine roll. But for the most part, usually I just hold on to the herbs. I use them to feed my horse. And every now and then you may have a daily pop-up that requires you to sell a certain number of herbs to doctors. But when you're starting off, you can sell herbs if you want. They're like 25 cents an herb. So it will get you some money. But that's the reason why I put selling herbs to the doctor as like part of the bottom tier ways of making money in Red Dead Online. With that out of the way, let's go to the, I guess, the second tier of ways you can earn money in Red Dead Online. Now, all these ways are done without having to pursue any of the roles. Now, FYI, I would advise you to eventually consider doing one or all the roles once you have enough gold to purchase those roles. We'll go over that in just a few, but for everyone else that is yet to tackle a role, don't have enough gold bars for a role, are not interested in a role, and still want to grind in order to make money in Red Dead Online, besides the different activities we've already mentioned, here's some even better ways that you can make money. Looting bodies, whether it's enemy NPCs you run across at gang hideouts or anywhere else, or even just unfortunate innocent NPC bystanders that you're gunning down when you're terrorizing Tumbleweed, Blackwater, Saint Denis, Valentine, various other towns. Always be sure to loot the bodies because they may give you like a few cents each and some other items, but you also get some lootable items that you can take to the fence. And there's a few fences scattered throughout the map of Red Dead Online, from Van Horn to Emerald Ranch, as well as Thieves Landing down to Saint Denis. There's a few spots you can go to sell looted items to your local friendly fence, and they will ask no questions. And they have improved the money, the payouts for looted items since, I believe, the Frontier Pursuits update. So selling looted items to fences is definitely a good way of making money in the game, along with hunting and fishing. This is something I went over in the beginner's guide video. You definitely want to consider hunting and fishing. Those are great ways to make cash. And just like with the fence shops, there's also butcher stands throughout the map, from Saint Denis to Rhodes to Valentine, all the way to Blackwater, as well as Strawberry, and all the way out west in Tumbleweed. You can find a friendly butcher ready to take in whatever animal carcasses, meat, pelts, parts, as well as fish that you've happened to acquire by hunting and fishing. And the value, of course, is based on the specific animal part, the quality of the pelt from like a 1-star to a 3-star, as well as fish. Fish is usually a pretty good value from basically, I would say, trout and salmon to larger fish like the pikes. So hunting and fishing is definitely a great way of grinding and making additional money in the game, along with treasure maps. Now, as you rank up and as you go after gang hideouts and loot enemy NPCs, sometimes you will come across a treasure map. And when you open up the treasure map, as we've gone over before in the gold guide video, as well as I believe the beginner's guide video, you will go to a location where the treasure map happens to be, search the area until you find the chest, you open the chest, and you may get a couple items, and you'll get some gold as well, but you'll also get a little bit of cash. And the final way to earn gold without a roll is the dynamics themselves. There are plenty of dynamics that happen to pop up randomly throughout the game, whether it's gang hideouts or somebody losing their wagon that you have to rescue before it goes into a stream or off a cliff, or rescue missions or ambushes. Usually those are good ways to make cash as well, from looting the bodies afterwards to even being compensated by those that you happen to help along the way. And the payout's pretty decent. Usually you average about $10 if you rescue somebody or you help somebody out. They usually give you like $10. Or if someone's been kidnapped, you can rescue them, you can kill those that have captured them and set them free, and then as compensation they'll give you $10, and you can also loot the bodies for additional items to sell as well. So those are different ways that you can earn cash in Red Dead Online that do not require a roll, which means we're now moseying over to the rolls. And I'm going to rank these, since we currently only have 4 rolls in the game as of right now, from the best to the least best. Now, all of them can earn you money if you grind them. But in my opinion, the best roll for earning money in Red Dead Online, especially if you happen to have the interaction map that I will just so conveniently just drop in the description section for you, is the collector roll, one of my personal faves. You ride around the map, you pick up various collectibles. Sometimes you actually get collectibles off of looting bodies. And whatever collectibles you get, from tarot cards to antique bottles, picking wildflowers, as well as digging up coins, heirlooms, combs, brushes, etc. You can sell those to Madame Nazar wherever she happens to be, or you can just simply wait till you get collections, and then you can sell those to Madame Nazar for even more money, or simply just send them to her via your nearest local post office and receive a pretty decent pay for those collections that you've been putting together for Madame Nazar. So the collector roll is easily the best roll, in my opinion, for making money, because of the simple fact that it doesn't require anything else. All you gotta do is just ride around, picking up collectibles, putting together collections, selling them to Madame Nazar. It's pretty easy to do. And if you're getting bored, just put some music on in your earpods, your headphones, while you're riding around, or listen to a live stream or a podcast, or just do it with friends in a posse. When it comes to the rolls, the collector's roll is number 1, followed by number 2, the trader. Now, there are certain criteria for the trader to actually be viable. One, you need to be lucky enough to be in a lobby that has 15 players or less so that animals can flourish, so you can hunt the animals and take them to crypts so he can start making goods and materials for you to actually sell. Which leads me to the other potential problem with the trader role, the fact that people's camps still have trouble pitching even after all these various patches as well as server maintenance being done for Red Dead Online. People still have problems getting their camp to spawn. So without animals, without the camp, it's kind of difficult to do the trader role, which is why I have the collector role ranked above the trader role, in case anybody's wondering. But when the trader role is actually working, when you actually have animals to hunt and give the crypts, and you're able to max out the trader role and do long distance trader sales, yes, you can make some pretty good money doing the trader role, with a few caveats, obviously. Next is the Moonshiner role, the newest role that's been added to Red Dead Online as of the recording of this cash guide video. And the Moonshiner role is similar to the trader role. It costs a little bit more gold-wise because it's the next step from the trader role, whereas the collector role, trader role, bounty hunter roles, those are each 15 bars of gold to get started with the roles. You're also going to need 25 bars of gold to get started with the Moonshiner role. And the Moonshine role also has its issues as well. But once you get that maxed out, you can make okay money doing the Moonshiner role. The problem is whenever you're doing your deliveries, even if you have superior moonshine, you got the best quality stuff, and it's flavored with the best like poison poppy or something else entirely, you have to be very careful with your moonshine wagon. And even if you just hit a bump across a train track, it'll break one of your bottles. And that can be a few bucks out of your pocket, where you go from 20 out of 20 to 19 out of 20. And it may not seem like a lot, but it's very noticeable that you take a hit for each bottle of moonshine that you happen to lose whenever you're doing a moonshine sell. Plus, you have to worry about other players. Similar to the trader role, you have to worry about other players whenever you're doing like the long distance trader sells, which is why in both cases, I always advise you to do those with friends and a posse at your back. You can do it solo, but you do it at your peril. But the big problem with the moonshiner sales is you also have to worry about the revenue agents. Whether it's going up to a checkpoint, sometimes they'll let you pass with no trouble. Then it's all smooth sailing till you get to your location. But whenever there's problems with the revenue agents that can only be solved with a little vitamin lead, then they're going to keep coming after you, and they're very aimbody. They're one of the most difficult enemy NPCs in the game as of right now. And if you don't dispatch them quickly, you're gonna have a bad time. The fourth way to earn money via the roles is the bounty hunter role, because we only have 4 roles right now, maybe more coming in the spring. Technically, some would make the argument that I could raise this up a little bit higher, maybe in between the trader role and the moonshiner role, but I'm gonna put it like at the bottom because you really don't get paid that much. Even when you're doing like hard, regular bounties, you only get a few bucks for the trouble. You get a little bit of gold as well because it's currently the only role that also pays out gold. Especially the 5-star legendary bounties do pay more, but they're a lot more difficult, and there's an hour cooldown time in between legendary bounties. So you theoretically could make money doing the bounty role by regular bounties in between the legendary bounties. So 1 hour, you do a 5-star legendary bounty. Once that's knocked out, then you spend another hour doing a few of the hard, medium, easy bounties before the hour cooldown comes up again, and you're able to do yet another legendary bounty 5-star level. But compared to the other roles, you're really not making as much money doing the bounty hunter role, even if you're just grinding it like crazy. And despite the problems of the moonshiner role, you still can make some money. Once you max out the moonshiner, you can do a better job financially in the long run with that business and the trader business as opposed to the bounty hunter role. Now, if the cooldown period for the legendary bounty was, say, 30 minutes instead of an hour, then I might have considered putting it a little bit higher on my list. But anyways, those are all the different ways that you can earn cash in the game. And for all different levels, like I mentioned, the best way to easily earn cash via the rolls is simply be a collector, ride around the map collecting all the goodies, selling them to Madame Nazar. Or if you just haven't gotten to that point yet where you can afford one of the rolls, or you're just not interested in a roll at the moment, just simply do looting, hunting, fishing, selling all that good stuff to the butchers, going after treasure maps. Every 5 ranks you get a new treasure map, and doing the dynamics. And then there's easier stuff for you to do, especially for those of you starting out in the game. Story, Land of Opportunity missions, Stranger missions, Freedom events, PvP modes for all of you into PvP, as well as selling herbs to the doctor for all you into just the gathering life. And to be honest, I feel like selling herbs to the doctor is probably at the very bottom of this list when it comes to ways that you can earn cash in Red Dead Online. And for all of you that have been making money in the game, let me know the best ways, in your opinion, how to make money in Red Dead Online below in the comments section.